Hello and welcome to this mind map on 6 thinking caps. This is based on the 6 thinking hats of Edward de Bono and is all about having a process in place for considering problems and issues at meetings and structuring that meeting to ask people to look at situations in different ways, use different thinking, and asking people to put on a different coloured hat depending on the type of thinking that you want them to do. So let's go and look at initially the blue cap. So the blue cap represents the sky. It's overarching and it's therefore controlling and often associated with chairing a particular meeting. And because it's looking from above, it's about observing and commenting on the process that's being undertaken at that meeting. So in meetings, the blue cap conducts the proceedings by setting direction and keeps the focus and the discipline of the meeting together. The blue cap also conducts the caps themselves, which ones are going to be worn and when they need to be changed. Now this may be the chair that does this, but in fact anyone can wear or put on a blue cap at any time when it's needed. Some examples of blue cap interventions will be, okay, what we need to focus on next is, let's start with some white cap thinking, or you are straying into red cap thinking, let's stick to grey caps for the moment. So that's the blue cap. Now looking at the white cap, this represents objectivity. It's about information, data, facts and figures. It also represents neutrality, so there's no ideas, opinions, emotions. It's very factual. So therefore in meetings, wearing a white cap would involve checking information, either that's been obtained or that's available, or information perhaps that's needed. And then it's about analysing things like reports, spreadsheets and other materials to obtain factual conclusions. What are the facts about what's going on here? Some examples of white cap thinking: we've missed 3 key targets this month. The training budget has been decreased by 10% this year. The report has 2 environmental recommendations. So here there's no emotions, there's no opinions about anything. These are just white cap thinking, facts and pieces of information. So moving on to look at the green cap. The green cap represents growth. You think of green, you think of lush vegetation grown from seeds, and that's what the green cap represents. So therefore it's about creativity and about ideas, about suggestions, alternatives and possibilities. In meetings, permission is therefore given by the blue hat for creative thoughts, and it's okay to be non-rational and maybe even a bit off the wall, without people judging. So there's no judgment and no ridicule. It's that time just to come out with crazy ideas if they need to be. So some examples: my idea would be to, and then followed on with the idea, what about if we, but if we look at this from this angle. Okay, so there's those ideas there of let's look at alternatives, let's come up with some ideas, and that's green cap thinking. So we move on to the yellow cap, and this represents sunshine, and it's about justifiable optimism. So it's there's positivity and there's hope. It represents brightness of a future vision. So in meetings, the yellow cap, when that's being worn, people will assess the benefits, the value and the opportunities that come out of what's being discussed. And it's about looking at constructive ideas, building on others' ideas, making things happen and creating a vision. Some examples therefore of yellow cap thinking: the advantages are, this will give us a chance to, the data makes this looks like a winner. So it's all those positive things when people are wearing a yellow cap. Then on the other side of that coin, we have the grey cap. In De Bono's original thinking hats, it was a black hat, but this grey cap is a slight variation, and it represents clouds, a gloomy weather forecast about raining on your parade. So there's an element of pessimism and negativity to it. In meetings, it's about assessing, but objectively, potential dangers or faults in people's ideas, faults in the information that's being looked at, or faults in people's thinking. So it's about the negative elements of what's being discussed. And in terms of its use, it's best to use after the yellow hat. So you look at the positives first, and then you look at the potential dangers and potential negatives with a grey cap. So some examples will be, we tried this before and it didn't work, there's a real risk of failure, and we're making some big assumptions here. So it promotes the idea of looking at things from a negative point of view, but constructively and objectively. Finally, we have the red cap, and this represents emotions, feelings, and intuition. In meetings, people will be asked to put on a red cap to help make feelings visible, and so they can be recognized, and they should be valued as well. And there's no need to be justified or logical when expressing anyone's red cap feelings. So some examples will be, I don't know why, but I just don't like it. This approach is making me suspicious. Or, I love it. So there we have the full mind map now of all 6 thinking caps. And this, in fact, is quite a good sequence of using the caps from the blue working round clockwise. So we can have a blue cap to start the proceedings, telling people which caps to wear. Then the white cap to look objectively at the situation, especially if it's about problems. What are they? Let's clarify them. The green cap to come up with ideas and potential solutions to those problems. The yellow cap to look at the positive aspects of those suggestions and potential solutions. The grey cap to look at the dangers of those solutions. And the red cap to bring out people's feelings about the ideas that have been put forward, the positives, negatives, whatever, how people feel about the situation. So this is quite a useful sequence in which to use the thinking caps. And these mind maps and others are available via the links below. If you go to my website, you'll see them there, and you can get them in PDF or in Android app formats. So thanks very much for watching.